This week on the show.
Keeping it Caribbean. 75 years on, we celebrate the Windrush legacy on British culture today.
It is a proper melting pot, right? All those things got into the pot, all that seasoning.
Yeah, a little kick.
Yeah.
Around the world in 7 days, we follow one man's incredible journey.
The wind really makes it bite. It is cold when that wind blows.
And we're in New York, asking if the American dream had a sound. Could this be it? We start this week in Brixton, a part of South London that's become the go-to for Caribbean British culture, from food to fashion and art. But it hasn't always been like this. After the Second World War, Britain was decimated, and so thousands of people from Commonwealth countries were invited here to fulfil labour shortages.
So I'm here in Windrush Square, which was named after one of the first ships to bring almost 1,000 people from the West Indies to Britain. Now, the boat became a symbol for a generation of people who settled here from 1948 to 1971. And this year is a pretty important one for Britain, as it marks the 75th anniversary of the boat's first arrival.
Some of the new arrivals were temporarily housed in Clapham, but many found accommodation in nearby Brixton after travelling to the labour exchange to find work.
Brixton was like little Jamaica.
So almost like a home away from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could get everything you need as a
yeah.
black person in Brixton. Everything. From food to skincare, music, it didn't matter what. If you wanted it and it was black,
Yeah. So that sense of community was really important as well, especially for people who are new to the country.
Definitely.
Since 2017, Windrush Day has been celebrated in June to mark the legacy and sacrifices made by that generation. And this year, the 75th anniversary is set to be a big one. Special stamps and coins will be released alongside lots of events across the country, including an exhibition at London's V&A, a gala dinner in Birmingham and a carnival in Bristol. But if you can't wait that long, then Brixton is one of the best places to get a taste of the Caribbean culture that's woven itself into the fabric of Britain.
So you must be Maureen.
Yes, I'm Maureen.
Bring it in.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm not too bad, you know. I'm good.
So you're going to teach me how to cook today?
Yes, I'm going to teach you how to cook the jerk pork.
So that's the word I wanted to hear, jerk pork.
Yes. Yes, some scallion.
Maureen shops here every day to supply her barbecue around the corner.
A bit of community spirit going on around here. It's like, it's good to support them and they support me.
Yeah.
Hi, Bucha. How you doing? You alright? Hi. Well, man,
I'm a local celebrity here.
No. Some lovely juicy belly pork. Yeah, make it 10.
To find Maureen's, you've simply got to follow your nose.
Good morning, Barry.
Inside, it's a pretty low-key operation. Maureen has a team of people helping her deliver food to the local community.
So we've got the jerk jar, we've got the pans, we've got the fire. It just screams Caribbean, and I love it. Could do some sun though. So what is it you love about running this business?
I just love it. It's like being a part of me for all the years and years and years. So it just grow, it just like it go. It's my baby. And then I get to interact with so many people.
Yeah, I bet.
I've got people from everywhere and they want a bit of chatting as well.
Yeah.
And I've got some elderly people that I take care of and I love them, you understand? Because it's like they're part of the business as well.
What makes this so good when it comes to Caribbean cooking?
Because it gives it the smoky flavour. Yeah, it's smoky because you can put it inside the oven, but it's not the same.
People love it. I'm talking like lick the plate clean, love it.
Because it's a spice. I said it's a spices. If you get your pimento berry and your garlic, your onion, and your paprika, your ginger, they bring that. They just explode. Ooh, they just exploding with the flavours.
It doesn't take long for more regulars to arrive.
Good. How are you?
Chef and writer Melissa recently released a Jamaican cookbook charting a country's history through food. And she even has this photo of her great-granddad arriving in the UK.
So my dad, his grandparents came over in like part of the Windrush generation. For me, like, so the 75th anniversary is like is a cause for celebration because I think migration makes a place like beautiful. And Britain's food culture, like 30 years ago was laughable internationally, right? And why is it now respected? Why is like London and the UK deemed to be like one of the best food places? It's because of migration, right? Because people bought different food from around the world.
Cosmopolitan kind of multicultural element of it. And I think that's what really makes UK quite special, London in particular.
Yeah, but it's like it is a proper melting pot, right? All those things got into the pot, all that seasoning.
And
a little kick.
The influence of Caribbean culture is palpable through fashion, food, and of course, music, notwithstanding the annual Notting Hill Carnival. And this reggae brunch is a self-described slice of carnival, but all year round.
It's electric, man. I mean, sometimes they come in, you know, they're a bit shy, but it's my job to try and get them on the energy that I'm on, just the hypeness, you know, like, let's get the rum punching, we give them a whole hour of that, you know what I mean? If that don't work, you know, we've got rice and peas, jerk chicken and that as well. If that ain't working, I'm gonna jump down, I'm gonna jump on the table, but like, yo! I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna try to get them on a vibe, you know what I mean? That's what it's about. A lot of like the music in itself, we're bringing the culture from home, we're bringing the food, we're bringing the lifestyle, and it's just great that you can bring so much different, diverse people into one place just to embrace the Jamaican Caribbean culture.
I took a breather and caught up with a couple of punters outside.
I think Caribbean culture is just a naturally uplifting kind of culture, and often when you look at the backstory of people from the Caribbean not having a lot and actually making the best of what they have and just being in terms of the gratitude and living for what we have rather than what we don't.
100%, it's a vibe. It doesn't matter what it is, not hard times, sad times, you just have a vibe.
So whatever your jam is, in London, there are no shortage of ways to dive in and get a taste of island life.
What a better place to end my journey than here with nothing but good people, good times and good vibes. Now, we party. As well as the 75th anniversary of Windrush, here are some other big events happening around London this summer.
If the reggae brunch has made you want to dance, then head to London at the end of August for Europe's biggest celebration of Caribbean culture at the Notting Hill Carnival. The two-day festival takes over most of the neighbourhood, with the streets filled with music, food stalls and performers. For the ultimate foodie, Taste of London is back this June in Regent's Park. For 5 days, chefs from around the city will offer up their best dishes for you to try. You can even learn how to cook some of your favourite meals. Over in East London, the annual Greenwich and Docklands International Festival takes place in August. The 10-day arts and culture event is free for all. Visitors can expect outdoor theatre shows and performing arts, and last year, more than 85,000 people went along.
Still to come.
7 marathons in 7 days across 7 continents. And playing into the heart of New York City.
So don't go away.
Next up is the incredible journey one man makes to become the first disabled person to complete the World Marathon Challenge.
You've crossed 18 time zones. You've got to do it all in 168 hours. You're eating, sleeping, recovering as best you can on a plane. We flew into Antarctica on a Russian cargo plane. The plane door opens and instantly you could feel the wind and you could feel the biting kind of temperature kicking in. At that point, I was a little bit overwhelmed. So I was wondering, how is this going to work? Is this going to work? Yeah, they've adjusted the course because of the weather, so we're doing more up and downs than we are loops now. I'm paralysed from the chest down. I can't feel or move below my chest. Now the big challenge with that is that in temperatures of -20 and below, you're potentially going to get frostbite. So I needed to get moving, get my heated socks on, put that battery pack on and get going. We set off on that start line. With the wind, you felt strong, I felt confident, and this was the first kind of like lap, and I was like, I feel good, I feel like I've got this. And all of a sudden you're coming back into that wind, and you could feel any exposed skin was starting to kind of like toughen to the temperature. The vast majority of people are walking, I think, at this point. Yeah. A few people still running.
When people were walking past me, it was demoralising because I was giving it every ounce of physical energy and physical force and strength that I think I had, but that was always going to be the case. I knew that for me this challenge was going to be a lot different to anybody else.
So we've got Darren Edwards coming into the finish now after his first marathon.
We finished that marathon, I finished in 5 hours 50 and I was exhausted.
Congratulations, Darren.
And it was only once we were on the plane and the plane was in the air and we were moving back to Cape Town that it was the realisation that this wasn't a one-off. We knew that in probably about 12 hours time we would find ourselves back out on the Cape Town promenade, lined up, ready to do marathon number 2 on day 2.
Making it to day 2 has been an effort. At 2 in the morning you went to bed last night, at 1 in the morning I fell out of my wheelchair on the street. At 12 AM, an hour before that, we were having an absolute nightmare with the bike, which Carl sorted last minute this morning because the bike shop opened, we can get it. And got a nosebleed, so all is good.
We've made it to the start line.
Nearly made it to the start line. Made it to the start line, there we go.
Cape Town itself is a stunning city. You know, I'd never been before, I'd never been to South Africa at all. And all of a sudden you're running along the promenade with Table Mountain off to your one-hand side. You've got this gorgeous, you know, ocean off to your left. You're going from what was -20, 25 the day before to temperatures that were going up towards 30. That temperature difference was really difficult.
Oh, how are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm so exhausted.
Well, yeah, you had a hard day yesterday. Had a hard day.
Yeah, you're good.
The plane that we used was a private charter plane. I'd never been on a chartered plane in my life, and in my head I was thinking of something a bit G5-y, a bit kind of, you know, billionaire-y. It wasn't. It was pretty much just an old EasyJet plane that had been transformed into a charter plane. So sleeping was difficult, near impossible I would say at times. The only thing that was on your side was the fact that you were exhausted. It's pretty much a case of as soon as you land, you're getting the baggage off. From landing to starting the marathon we had 2 hours. From finishing the marathon to getting back on the plane we probably had 3 hours.
So we are just starting our descent into Dubai for marathon number 4. We were in Perth for less than 14 hours. And we'll be in Dubai for less than 14 hours.
Madrid was day 5. You know that you've got this one, then you've got 2 left. And psychologically that was quite good because you were over the hump. But because we'd been held up logistically in South Africa, we found ourselves biding our time, and all of a sudden we're now doing 5 marathons in 4 days. So we're all kind of begrudgingly getting off the bus and thinking, here we go, number 5, let's just do it. What I don't know is that behind me, TJ, my partner, and her dad, my future father-in-law, have turned up in Madrid completely covertly. I had no idea.
What? No! What? No!
That was a really lovely surprise and psychologically a really great boost.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, hard work today.
Yeah. Technical course?
It's a tough course because of the potholes.
Yeah.
And the inclines. And the speed bumps.
Yeah.
It's speed bumps just knock the speed out.
Yeah, great effort, keep it up.
So by day 6, you know, you've been living with these people pretty much 24/7 for 6 days. So everybody was kind of, you know, each other's cheerleader. Even in Fortaleza, when the heat and humidity was hot and your mouth was dry and you really didn't feel like talking, people would always find that second and say, come on, you're looking good, you're looking strong. You don't know the impact that those words have on someone who might be on the verge of thinking, can I do this? Am I going to give up?
Packing for the final time. Well, Carl's packing for the final time, I'm just doing this. But yeah, our last flight before, no, this is the flight to Miami. 7 marathons will be done in 7 days, just about.
This was it. I had this amount of energy left in the reserve tanks to give, and I wanted to finish Marathon 7 with nothing left to give. I wanted to give it everything I had and to know that I'd left it all out on the field. The track was lined with people cheering and whooping. The banner is out across the track which says World Marathon Challenge finish, you know, 2023. And it was huge. It was, I don't know, a mixture of relief, joy. I think for me I was so scared of failing this challenge because it was such a huge challenge and something that I'd never done before. I'd never done a single marathon, let alone 7. So if there was another version of me in hospital right now who's just had whatever it is that's changed their lives, hopefully I can show them that injury and disability doesn't stop ambition, it doesn't stop having aspiration, it doesn't stop you from dreaming big. When you have a spinal cord injury, life doesn't stop when something doesn't go to plan that changes your life.
Congratulations to Darren Edwards there. Now, next up, we're in New York to mark the 170th anniversary of one of the world's most famous piano makers.
New York is known for its rich musical culture, from its legendary jazz and piano bars to all the live performances. Over the years, it's been a major draw to the Big Apple.
And there's one instrument that's synonymous with New York City, and that's...
Well, what instrument's that?
The Steinway piano. Do you agree?
I do.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, so he'd know. That's Jay Lenhart, a famed musician who's played with many of the greats across his remarkable career.
My first real professional gig was for Judy Garland, believe it or not.
No way.
In 1963 or 64.
But that's not all.
Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Mel Torme, Peggy Lee,
oh my gosh.
Sting.
What do you think makes a Steinway piano so iconic?
Well, we all think that it's because it's handmade. We play all the other pianos and they play nicely, but nothing sounds like a Steinway.
This year marks Steinway's 170th anniversary. Today it's regarded as one of the big 4 piano makers. And I've come to take a peek inside its massive factory here in Queens, in New York.
This factory has been in operation for over 150 years. And the processes that they created all those years ago were so perfect and so ahead of their time that they still use many of the same techniques today. What's going on here? What are you up to here?
I'm key weighing.
Key weighing?
Key weighing, balancing the keys. Well, without the weights, you cannot play. The keys are too heavy, which will give you carpal tunnel. Now, you have 88 keys. Mm-hmm. Every key is like me and you. Everyone is different. Mm-hmm. None are the same. So this tells me how much weight that it wants. I have to find the right position, you see? Then I have to check for return. Then I mark.
A piano can be big and bold, and it can be the daintiest little instrument to boot. And my goal is to just make this piano as even and pleasing sounding. Ever since I came here, I thought this was the job that I was meant to do, because I love the piano so much, and I love music. Who could ask for anything more?
Before the pandemic, there was up to a year-long waiting list to visit the factory. Tours have stopped for now, but there are plans to bring it back, so stay tuned.
So I'm a fifth-generation Steinway. My great-grandfather ran the company, and my great-great-grandfather founded the company. It was a classic immigration story. There were more opportunities here. He wasn't a rich man. He wasn't a poor man. He was a tradesman, and his trade was piano making.
If ever there was a case study for the great American dream, Miles's family could be it.
In fact, my double-great-grandfather never learned English, didn't have to. He lived in a German-speaking milieu. He also was illiterate, never learned to read or write. Didn't have to because he knew how to use a hammer and a chisel. As the city grew, the Steinways grew along with it, and the company grew along with it.
But through the years, the spirit of opportunity has remained.
It's a true New York story, and it's a very New York place. You know, we have people coming from all over the world to work here, about approximately 75% immigrant workforce. You know, there's a little bit of magic here, but I think even more important than the magic is what creates that magic, and it's the fact that you have all these people with these skills that have learned them for many decades. And if you were to move somewhere, unless you're able to bring all those people with you, you lose that magic.
I'm rarely short of a reason to come visit New York, but here's another. Sitting here now, it's become more than just music. I feel like I'm listening to a slice of history, of people arriving with a dream to make something really special.
Right, coming up next week.
Addie's looking back at some of our favourite historical journeys, from a tour of Paris in a classic French car to an encounter with the world's oldest mummies.
We have about 70 mummies, Chichorro mummies, in this store.
In the meantime, do check out more of our recent adventures on BBC iPlayer. We're on social media too, where you can find all kinds of brilliant travel content from around the BBC. But that's it for now. See you next time.